Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to a catch-up episode of Merricks Garage. I have not been good about doing videos because, as you can see, we got a lot of trucks in here. I have made the transition to building trucks for other people, and it's going pretty good. So today, we're gonna blast through the builds that are in here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got 7 trucks in here right now. So we'll walk to the front, we'll work our way back, and I'll show you everything that's going on. So peeking out behind us, the daily driver right here. This is the K30 Burb. I'm sure you guys are familiar with that. This guy's doing good. It needs a little bit of TLC. I gotta get the AC repaired, but anyway, that one's kicking butt. But turn around, because here's what's in the shop right now. We have an 83 Blazer that just got dropped off. Just doing some basic stuff on this, making sure that it's reliable for this guy. He's taken it to a bunch of places in town and just hasn't really been serviced very well. The truck itself doesn't need a whole lot of work, but it needs some little things, and the poor guy's just throwing money at it and not getting results. So we're replacing the motor in the back of the tailgate for the window. We've replaced a bunch of vacuum lines and stuff like that, and we're suggesting that he goes to an EFI system. But that's TBD. So let's keep moving back. Let's talk about my truck. We're getting some TLC on the Blazer. Unfortunately, it is really difficult for me to throw time at my vehicles right now, especially with everything that you see in here. But I'm heading up to the Rubicon in a few weeks, and I figured that was a good excuse to bang out projects that needed to get done. So one of the things that I have done with this, believe it or not, when I rolled this thing like 4 or 5 years ago out in Utah, I bent it pretty good. And to get it straight, I had to cut a bunch of tubes on the roll cage, use a come-along, a winch, an anger to get it straight again. And I left all those tubes just cut. So I actually, Austin, come in here and check this out. This is a new tube because this was all cut out. This lower kicker is a new tube because this was all cut out. And then I reconnected from the shock hoops right here to this bar on both sides, so that this is all one integrated unit now. I'm also doing a lot of work on the tune. My gas mileage has been atrocious. We're talking like 3 miles to the gallon. And not just because I'm heavy on my foot. I think something's been going on. So I've been working with Rodney Allen Designs up in Sacramento area. They've been doing a bunch of remote tuning for me, and it's starting to come alive. I'm also swapping over. Can you turn down the music a little bit, John? Mark? I'm swapping over to Hydro Boost. Believe it or not, I've been running vacuum forever on this, and it hasn't really been holding up because I went to a big brake system a long time ago, and the brakes weren't great. So I've got a Hydro Boost system. I already had the full PSC, so put that in this week. Doing a little bit more stuff on this, and this one's ready to roll. Let's turn around and look at what we got going in here. This is an 86 Cuckv. We are dropping a 2.8 liter Cummins engine in. This is the new Cummins crate engine. It's the 2.8 liter 4-cylinder diesel. Really cool little engine. We're having to build all the fab stuff for it to make sure the motor mounts work, and we're getting it up raised high enough so that it's going to sit properly. We don't really know where this is going to go yet, and we're putting a new transmission in, which is right here, and we're throwing new springs and new suspension on this, but trying to keep everything original. We want this to look like it looks, but with a revised, updated, modern power plant instead of the old Detroit diesel that was in here. So this one's kind of in the wings. We're working on this one as the parts come in. The ones that we have been heavy on right now, believe it or not, are Fords. So I know, I have Fords in my shop, but it's okay, because these are pretty freaking rad Fords. This is a 73 F350, and I think this is badass. I just love the lines, I love the angles, I love the stance. It just looks, and it's before Ford went crazy and started doing weird stuff that didn't make any sense. This is just a basic, all-American, steel frame, steel body, badass bruiser of a truck. And we're making it even more badass by putting a Cummins 12-valve 6BT in here. This has been a handful. There is not a whole lot of room to fit this engine in, so we've had to push the engine and firewall back a good 3 inches. And getting the intercooler, the radiator, all of the plumbing, exhaust, and tubing to play nicely has been difficult. But you can see it's all coming together. John's been doing a great job on all the welding. He's very proud.
Man himself.
Very proud. At least should be. I mean, look at that. It's beautiful.
That's crap. This is great.
Crap. No. Internet, do your thing. Tear him a new one. Okay. So intercooler in. It's a small little bucktooth intercooler, but it's basically all we could fit because the grill on this guy sits, oh man, like precariously close. Yeah, that's where the grill sits. So you can see there is next to no room behind the grill and the radiator. So yeah, we actually
Parked in the driveway, but yeah. You can have this.
So John had to clearance the grill just to get this thing to fit in here. But it's coming together. Really, really excited about this one.
I should put it on Mark.
Let's take a look at the interior that they've been building. Rock slide, well not rock slider, new steps put on it. Full new wiring harness. Dakota digital dash going in. And take a look at the pedal. This has been part of the challenge, is getting the pedal to work, because you can see how much we pulled the floor back to get that transmission in. The transmission tunnel had to come up and back and left us with very little room for the gas pedal. But it's working, and we got all the trans to hook up, the linkages are in, it's shifting, we're happy. Yeah, so that's where we stand on the big Ford. New fuel supply, he's going to an air dog system or a fast system, I forget which one we have in here. 60-gallon tank in the back, and yeah, new transmission. I think it's a 47RE transmission, new built transmission under there. Sticking with the 205, it's going to be a divorce transfer case, so there's going to be a tiny little transfer case drive shaft between the engine, between the transmission and the drive shaft. And yeah, we're sticking with these period correct wheels, we're sticking with these tires, and we're sticking with the suspension at this point. This will all change, but the objective right now is to get this guy running, get it driving, get it back in the customer's hands so we can enjoy it. Then he'll come back and say, hey, the steering's horrible, or the suspension's horrible, which we already know, but he needs to discover it on his own. And then another Ford. So let's take a look at this one, because this just came in this week. We didn't build this. This is not a Merricks Garage build. It is a beautiful build, beautiful paint. It looks fantastic. It has a lot of issues. Let me see if I can find some of the connectors that are bad. Mark, do we have any of those connectors anywhere that are... Okay, here. This is just to give you an idea, this is some of the wiring harness that we're pulling off. And this is what we're dealing with. These are called solder connectors, and they suck. So what you're supposed to do is heat this guy up so that solder, that flux, melts in there, wicks into both the lines, and stops it from doing this. Because they just pull apart. And the guy who built this put these connections everywhere, and they just pull apart. I mean, it's so this poor guy, his truck just wasn't working. It wouldn't start, the lights were weird, he was having issues with the AC, and it's all a result of just terrible wiring. So we pulled all the harness out, we're rebuilding all the harness. We're rerouting all of the electrical, We're labeling everything so he's gonna know exactly what it is. And we're just getting this thing up to par. Several things that I don't like how this was built. There's a lot of self-tapping sheet metal screws holding things on. There's a lot of wiring that goes over chafe points. There's stuff going through holes in firewall that has zero protection. Seems like whoever built this kind of ran out of patience and just decided that they were just going to start, you know, not finishing it properly. But that's what we're doing. Apparently his steering wheel came off while he was driving one time too, so we're gonna look at that. Yeah, like I said, it's a beautiful hot mess, but I'm very confident that we're gonna dial this thing in and the customer is gonna be super stoked. Lieutenant Dan, death proof. Oh, I know, it's like this guy lives here permanently, but he really doesn't. He's gonna be leaving here very shortly. The only thing we have left to do is to wrap up some of the electrical, get the dash back together, charge the AC, put the hood back on, and then do burnouts. It's been in here a long time. This was a massive, big project, but it's 99% there. Yeah, really stoked about this. I think when I left you guys, we'd grenaded this motor, or this motor had grenaded itself, and we finally got the new engine in, rebuilt all the accessory drive, broke in the motor with the zinc additive and the correct time and all that stuff, and dialed in the throttle bodies, and yeah, we're ready to go with this one. And the shop is full. So it's been a really busy few months, and it's gonna keep being busy. I've put together a huge video series on the red Blazer that you'll see is no longer here. That shipped back to Georgia. That truck, we did a whole build series on it. We did an interview with the customer. We did a deep dive on the truck itself. We've got driving videos of it. We've got build videos of it. We've got behind the scenes of it. And I'm working on getting all those videos up, and they'll all be going up at once, so you guys will be able to see the whole process, soup to nuts, of how that build came together. And yeah, we got our rockstar Jimmy here building us some stuff. Jimmy, what are you building?
I don't know.
He doesn't know. Don't put your fingers in there.
Okay.
Yeah. You can tell it's serious work because he's got his thinking glasses on. Jimmy is actually building a part for the gas
We
tank.
don't want John to cut his fingers on it when he puts it in.
Yeah, you got to make it nice and smooth. That is a fill port for the top of that tank. So the tank came, it didn't have the right fittings, and so we've made all the fittings on here that integrate not the sending unit, the pickup, the fuel gauge, and the breather. So Jimmy has been hard at work on the lathe here for a few days now.
Once I find out what all the knobs
Yeah,
do,
he didn't know what anything did.
I never run this lathe before. However,
Yeah, he's been running lathes since the Flintstones.
And-
so,
just in case we need a spacer.
oh, you're just making stuff for fun now.
Yeah.
That's what I do with it. That is really nice.
No, we got to put it in and turn this down and then clean this so that in case the spacing between this
Yeah.
edge here and where we have a spacer for where the O-ring can go in and not split out.
Details.
Well, I don't know.
Hey, I want to show you something. This is one of the things that I think I'm going to throw Jimmy on next. Come look at this. This is one of the things that kind of drove me crazy about this guy. If you look and Austin, you can come in tight. You see that, the fuel filler cap, how they mounted it? You'll see sheet
Gotta
metal
be
screws.
rubber.
Well, I think you could make us a nice spacer.
Well, there it is right there. We
Yeah,
just open it
exactly.
up.
So that's the stuff that I'm talking about on this guy that needs to be repaired. John, what are you doing under the truck?
He's hanging out.
the exhaust.
Oh, wow. I didn't know this actually moved out of the garage.
Well, look at that tank I got to drag around. And I'm getting low on gas, man.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
Well, we know where to get more.
Austin.
Anyway, that's what we've been up to. sorry I haven't been bringing more videos to you. I think you guys will understand why. I do have more stuff coming. I hope you guys found this fun. I'm going to put up a link to a couple videos up here about some of these builds. And make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Drop me a comment down below about what you're working on. And we'll see you guys soon. Merricks Garage.